Hello everybody, I am Fuzzy Face. Welcome back to another edition of this Motorsport Manager career. We've got the 12th race of the season. It is Yokohama. We're heading to Japan. This was a race we didn't do too great at last season. We qualified 50th with Vettel, 17th with Stoffel Van Dorn. We finished the race in 11th with Vettel and 15th with Van Dorn. Hopefully this year, obviously we know our car is much improved. As you can see from this, we won't hover over it just yet, but we have dropped from being the best car on the grid as we were over the last two races. But we're heading into the business end of the season. Vettel is currently leading the Drivers' Championship. He's got a 1 point advantage over Fernando Alonso. I don't know whether we're going to be able to keep that. You never know. But we do have an even bigger advantage over Ferrari in the in the Constructors' Championship. We've got a 49 point gap. Maybe a little too early to celebrate, but you never know. We might be able to pull this out of the bag. It just depends how our development goes over the latter part of the season. Obviously, if you've watched the last episode, we are working on a front wing. It's not ready for this race, unfortunately. We don't have any new parts going into the car this time around. A lot of other teams have done though. But what we're doing is a front wing, then possibly either the gearbox or the brakes need working on. And then it will be a matter of getting an engine ready for next season, which we can't actually do until this test track is built, because I can't actually build an engine that will be any better than the one that we have until that test track is built. But anyway, let's get into Fuzzy's notebook properly. On the upgrade side of things, talking about engines, Mercedes have built their 4th new engine of the season, puts them up to 3rd. The customer teams, McLaren, Aston Martin, Williams, also get that new engine, although it is nerfed a little bit from the Mercedes engine. It's a couple of points lower, just to simulate that engine wouldn't work better in the customer team's car, because their chassis is not specifically built around the engine. They have to make that engine fit into their car. Other than that, we've got Red Bull and Ferrari with new front wings. That moves Ferrari up to the top. Red Bull get a little bit closer to us. AlphaTauri have got a new brake system. Puts them above us. That is nice for AlphaTauri, all the way up there into 4th. And then Renault have a new gearbox. Puts them top on the gearbox front. And Haas have a new rear wing, although that's not a massive improvement. Does get them up to 6th. So if we come on over to look at what is the best car on track at the moment, it is Mercedes. Mercedes have climbed back up to the top of the order. Ferrari not doing too bad as well, and McLaren still all the way up there. They still have like the 2nd best car. We have dropped to 4th, and as we look down the order, Red Bull are behind us. Williams are nice there in 6th place. That is not too bad for them. Aston Martin 7th, and Renault have continued their slide down the order. Currently now the 8th best overall car over the first season, and over the first part of this season they have had the best car, but they've just totally wrecked it. They couldn't deal with any sort of strategy. You see, recently we've had 2 1-2s, Vettel winning in Italy and Singapore, with Gasly coming 2nd, which is nice to see, because he went through a dry period there of 4 races where he didn't get up into the points. Obviously, we should have had a decent finish in Belgium, but there was a lot of collisions in that race. Vettel collided twice, Gasly did early on. We couldn't recover, didn't pick up any points there. Possibly, if we'd have had the result we should have had done in Belgium, we could have had the constructors actually wrapped up. But meanwhile, as we've messed up in that race, the other cars have been catching back up with us now, so it all depends on how the other cars develop over the latter part of the season. It's going to be a dry practice. We're going to have a really wet qualifying, it looks like, and we've got a wet race. It is 28 laps of brakes, and the suspension are the most crucial part here. So McLaren looking good there, Williams looking good. They've got a really good suspension, decent-ish brake system, and they do have that Mercedes engine, so Williams might be a surprise candidate for a top 10 finish here. You never know. But anyway, it's just one thing to go over, and that is the piece of news that Ricciardo is looking to leave Renault. Obviously Renault have been dropping down the order. They've been terrible with their strategy. Ricciardo's just not had the best time there over the last 2 seasons. This season he is currently 9th with 56 points, no wins, only 2 podiums in each of the seasons last year. Ricciardo was 7th, a long way off the front running cars. Where would he go to though, is the question. I mean, we've got Vettel and Gasly. I'm pretty happy with them. Gasly's turning into a pretty good driver. He keeps developing as well, and he's picking up as well. He's now a 4.5-star rated driver. Ferrari have Hamilton and Leclerc. I mean, Hamilton's been off the boil this year, but I don't think they'd want to lose him for next year, because this Ferrari hasn't been the best car this year. Red Bull could be a return for Red Bull. They do have Vips there, so whether Vips does, whether Vips performs over the last half of this season, obviously he's taken over that seat from Alexander Albon, who wasn't performing in that seat. Vips does need to perform. Ricciardo could be heading there. Mercedes have Verstappen and Russell. They won't be wanting to change. McLaren has Sainz and Norris. Sainz is a little bit off the boil here. I mean, Norris has picked up wins last season and this season, but Sainz hasn't managed to do the same. He did get 2 podiums last season. Hasn't been overly quick this year in a pretty strong. Well, this Mercedes car has been really strong. Look at that, 24th, 23rd, 22nd, 22nd, and then has picked up. So Sainz's seat could be under threat here, and he's considering offers. He might even just move himself away from McLaren. But anyway, where could Ricciardo go? But we do have rain in qualifying, so it's going to be interesting to see where these cars do end up after this race, after qualifying. But we're going to get into practice as we usually do. You don't get to see that, unfortunately. And we'll be back for qualifying in just a second. So, practice is over. We're looking pretty quick around here. The McLaren's looking quick as well. Ferrari not too far behind. Whether we can get an out-and-out pole. We've not had an out-and-out pole here in this career so far, but you never know, we could be in for it. There is rain forecast for this session. We didn't actually get the full performance boost on super soft and the qualifying trim like we would have liked. I'm just going to ignore the weather because we do have to follow this as if we're just following, because I don't like taking advantage of the AI. We just run qualifying as we normally would. I mean, we'd get both cars out pretty early. Well, I would have waited usually a little bit with Vettel, but it is dry to start this session. Do we have any rain at any point? Yeah, we've got rain before we even start a lap. So, I'm just going to try and avoid the weather radar and just run as we normally would, because that is what the AI does. And I don't like having an advantage. It does mean we go out early, but you never know. We'll just run as we normally do, which means this next one we usually send Gasly out with just under 4 minutes to go. Vettel goes a little bit after that. Hopefully there's no more rain forecast for this session. We are pretty quick over the first lap, a 1:32, which is not too far off the normal pace. So that has worked out for us. So this is the point where we'd usually send Gasly out on a fresh pair, and then we'd wait a little bit for a little gap to form. It looks like there's a gap there for Vettel to go as well. Hopefully there's going to be no rain here, although no one's really moved up either, although we've got these cars out on their outlaps a lot earlier than the front runners here. So Vettel is out on track. It doesn't look like there's going to be any rain for the rest of this session, so things should work themselves out, although maybe we've got some cars that aren't going to run again. Alonso has come out on an outlap, but it doesn't look like he's actually... Where is Alonso? A little bit further ahead. I don't think he's got the time to actually get round to start a new lap, or does he? Is Alonso going to get through qualifying here? Or is he actually on track? Is he going to make it? Oh, he's cutting it so fine. Left it so late to get back on track. And no, Alonso is out. Alonso is out in Q1 here, is he? Is anyone... Yeah, because we've got cars doing laps at the moment. Looks like Verstappen's just going to escape. Leclerc's going to escape, as is Russell and Hamilton. They came out. Alonso came out way too late, and he's going to end up eliminated here. Vips might be in trouble as well. We might see both Red Bulls out in Q1 here. So we're waiting for teams to come through. It looks like Vips is going to be eliminated because we've got Giovinazzi, Schwartzman and Russell all going quicker. Schwartzman gets out. Did Russell get out then? Yes, he did. Yeah, Vips has dropped down, as does Sainz. We've got both McLarens who are looking quick around this track. Both McLarens are out in Q1 as well. So that is a shocker. Vips and Alonso both out, caught out by the rain. I'm guessing Vips didn't run again either, or didn't get out in time. We've got both McLarens out. So a few shocks there, but we've still got the Mercedes and Ferraris in this thing. And we've got rain to start Q2 here, so that means we're going to get out, but go out on an Inter. Without looking at the weather radar, we wait a little bit, and we'll get Vettel out as well. So when it's raining, I'll just explain again. Just try to follow what the AI does, because the AI is just... They're just useless in the rain in qualifying. They'll just run on whatever tyre. They don't look ahead at what the weather's going to be when they're starting their hot lap. I mean, that's what we're just going to follow here, and hopefully we can get through this session. Hopefully it's going to be like the last one. There's not going to be rain over the last, when we're doing our last lap in this session. But we are quickest on this Inter, not too far off the pace. We've got a few of the cars coming back out onto super softs now. That's Giovinazzi in a Prema. A lot of the middle order cars are already back out. So just under 4 minutes, that is when we're going to get Gasly out onto track. It looks like the track is going to stay dry here. And then a little bit after that, we get Vettel out. So this looks like it's going to be dry again, so we might be in for this. It might follow a similar pattern through all 3 qualifying sessions here, of having a little bit of rain and then just drying off for the end of the session. So we should be able to escape here and get through into Q3. Vettel is currently off pace, but this lap is a lot quicker, and Vettel carries himself up into 2nd place, whilst we have a Williams currently sat on 1st place on the grid. After everyone finishes, Hulkenberg is out, but Latifi in that Williams, we did say that Williams was going to be pretty strong here. I don't know whether it's because there's no grip on track or what, or a lot of traffic, but I mean, that Williams is looking pretty strong here. Both Renaults with that car in the status are both through into Q3. Tsunoda is into Q3 as well. We've got a Haas up there as well. So you never know, there's still potential for rain to shake things up even more here. It looks like it is dry to start this session, so we're going to get out on track. Maybe it's going to be an all dry session this time around, and everyone is going to be where they should be. But you never know, this game does like to throw up. No, we do have rain. Maybe rain for the entirety of the session, or is it going to be rain that comes and goes? It's got rain that's getting heavier. Is it going to get to a point of full wets here, because that rain is totally heavy, which is what the weather radar did say beforehand. So this first lap that we're out on this super soft, we're going to be massively off the pace. It does look like the rain is stopping. So Gasly sets the quickest lap, Vettel will set the 2nd quickest, but we're going to be so far off the pace because everyone else was on inters, whilst the track was super wet, whilst we were doing our, yeah, look, we're 11 seconds off the pace off that first lap. So we need to hope that there's no rain at the end of this session. That rain was heavier than it was before. So we'll just wait, and if we go with 4 minutes to go like we have been doing, hopefully this is going to work out for us. It's going to, I think there's going to be rain, isn't there? We're going to get caught out by the rain here totally. So we're going to do what we've done. Come on, fingers crossed, no rain. We're 11 seconds behind, please no rain. Please, oh, there is rain. Jesus, Tsunoda is currently going quickest in the AlphaTauri at the moment. And with rain, Tsunoda goes quickest. No one else has got a chance of improving here, really, because of the rain. Although that rain is not too heavy. I mean, we're out on the lap now. We can actually have a look. Right, that rain is not going to get too heavy, so we might be able to climb up the order a little bit. Ricciardo gets himself up into 2nd place here. We've got Verstappen, Leclerc, and Russell. The Mercedes and Ferraris all on their outlaps at the moment, so we might be able to stay ahead of them, because they're going to be out whilst the rain's at its wettest. Gasly is not that far off the pace. He gets himself up into 6th, obviously. The last sector is going to be absolutely atrocious. And Vettel will start from 9th place, although Russell is currently going quicker than his last lap, although we know that rain is now heavy. So Russell is 10th. So, pretty much, the top order cars that are still here, McLaren, the 2nd best car, are out already. But the Mercedes, the Ferrari, and ourselves, we're in the bottom of this top 10. We've got the 2 Renaults ahead of us, we've got a Haas, we've got a Williams ahead of us, and we've got the AlphaTauri of Tsunoda. A wonderful pole position there for Yuki Tsunoda. Absolutely brilliant for Tsunoda. And we've got rain to start the race as well, so we can actually look at the radar for this. The rain is going to last until about lap 10 and then start again. Look at that, that is faintly there. We can just see the rain coming back in from about lap 21. So we should be able to run on the super soft for the middle stint, and then it looks like it's going to be rain, no rain. Could be a little bit of rain if that goes off, but I'm guessing that's going to be rain till the end of the race from that point. So yeah, we do have to start on the inters here, and we've got slower cars ahead of us, so we might as well just push and see if we can get them. But anyway, here is this grid for the 2022 Japanese Grand Prix. Yuki Tsunoda on pole position, Daniel Ricciardo on the front row of the grid. I mean, that Renault car has just got rapidly worse over this season. But due to the rain, they're right up there for this race. The second row is Newgarden in the Haas, Latifi in a Williams, Perez in the Renault. Then we have our first car in 6th place. Verstappen is 7th in a Mercedes, 8th for Leclerc in a Ferrari, Vettel in 9th, George Russell 10th, bringing up the top 10 in a Mercedes. Hamilton outside the top 10 is 11th with a dodgy neck. Magnussen 12th in a Haas. Alexander Albon, Nico Hulkenberg following the AlphaTauri and Williams respectively. 15th for Giovinazzi, Schwartzman 16th in the Prema, Suprema side by side. Saints, McLaren 17th, Vips 18th in a Red Bull. Bottas 19th, Ocon 20th in an Aston Martin. Alonso 21st in that Red Bull, which is good for us. 22nd, Norris in the McLaren. Stroll is 23rd, and then Schumacher in the Alfa Romeo is 24th. I mean, Red Bull being so far down is good for us. Obviously, our main rival now is Ferrari. Red Bull could be out of it after this race if they don't pick up. Vettel's off the line slowly, but Gasly is away quick here. He's managed to get past Sergio Perez, or does he? He has the outside line, gives up on the overtake. Vettel has fallen a long way behind, but I'm guessing we can just push this tyre for quite a while, because you can usually get about 18 laps. Yep, I think we can just go for it here. Since we know we're going to get off this tyre around about lap 10, we can just absolutely go for it. Although we've got a Ferrari that is Charles Leclerc that is going quick, trying to get past Sergio Perez. We do need to jump the AlphaTauri and the Haas here if we can, to keep those Mercedes and Ferraris behind us. We do manage to get Pierre Gasly up into third place, which is going to cool off a bit until we can start catching the cars in front, and then we'll go for it again. Vettel does need to keep pushing here. He's currently alongside the Prema of Robert Schwartzman. He does manage to get that move done. It is Alexander Albon in front. We've got a yellow flag here, and that is Esteban Ocon that is out of this race for Aston Martin, packed up in the gravel. But Vettel still going quick. Gasly, oh no, we've got cars coming through. Push it Gasly. We're going to have to push out because those Ferraris are going to be pushing. Yes, they are. We're going to try get on to the back of the Williams of Nicolas Latifi now and try keep this quick Ferrari behind us, because we know we don't have the power. Come on Gasly, keep the inside line there. That Ferrari's possibly got the speed on us. No, we don't. We managed to hold on here. And are they going to cool down? No, they're still going all out with their fuel as well, so we're still going to have to do the same. The driving style has quietened down though. Gasly is running third. Vettel, meanwhile, has got himself back up into 9th place. And we might just think about not going too hard with the fuel, although we do with Gasly, because we're right on the back of this Williams now, which is absolutely brilliant. If we can get past Nicolas Latifi here, and then we can maybe think about conserving a little bit of the tyre. We need to get away from the Ferrari behind us, create a little bit of distance. We should have Latifi down the straight here, and we do. We have the power over that Williams, or at least we shouldn't have really, because they do have a better engine than us, but obviously our car is a lot more aerodynamically sound than that Williams is. Gives us a jump there. So we just got a Renault in front of us. We know we're quicker than that Renault of Daniel Ricciardo, so Gasly is at a really good position here for a race win. Potentially he's in for a race win. We've cooled down a little bit. We're getting about halfway through. We've used 75%. We've got 75% of the tyre left. Vettel, meanwhile, is currently stuck still down here. We're going to have to get pushing with him still, because that is an AlphaTauri in front. We're going to have to use some of this fuel to clear some of this field as well. We need to get past Tsunoda. We need to get past Newgarden. If we can get onto the back of Hamilton. Nope, we go wide, and Vettel runs wide, loses a lot of time through that corner, and stays behind the Haas. Gasly, meanwhile, is he getting? He's catching that Red Bull. He's catching Daniel Ricciardo as Vettel manages to jump the Haas and the Ferrari of Lewis Hamilton here. Can we get past George Russell as well? I mean, we're still really quick in this car. It's good to have a quick car for a change. I mean, we've gone. This is like the 31st episode, I think, and we've had a slow car that's not been able to make many passes, and it's good to be able to get past cars for a change, especially pushing all out. Maybe we'll cool down with Vettel for half a lap now. Just get off that red zone before we get back onto it. I mean, we have used a lot of fuel. We're still going to have to go high mode, because we've still got to push, because these cars around us are still super quick, although they're doing the same. And we're right on the back of Daniel Ricciardo here. I was thinking we're going to have to use the pits to jump him, but it looks like we're going to actually get past him on track here. So if we can do that, and then we can start slowing down, because we've still got a Williams of Latifi splitting the field here. So if we can get past Danny Rick here on track, then we can go think about recovering our fuel here, as the rain is on the point where it's going to start to stop. It is going to get wet at the end of the session again, although it is wet, going to be inters fully for the last stint of the race. And Vettel, we've just got him recovering it as well. He's managed to recover himself back up into 5th place. Remarkable job. I think he fell, what did he fall? 14th, 15th, maybe even further. But anyway, look at that. Alonso and Vips, have they had collisions or have they just got stuck? They haven't had collisions, they've just got stuck with the Red Bulls right down the order. Verstappen is currently outside the points as well, as George Russell got himself up there as well. 6th for George Russell, which is not bad. He's currently pressurising Sebastian Vettel, who's currently running in 5th place. So this rain is about to stop, so we're going to get going with the tyres again. Gasly has got that lead now. He's 2 seconds over Daniel Ricciardo. Should we fire first, we can double stack our car in the pits at the moment because they're so far apart. Ferrari just about have that luxury as well, but I think there's another lap in this before we've got a few cars actually into the pits. This lap we're not quite on the crossover point, or maybe just about, but we're going to think now we only have to go about 11 laps so we can go the super soft, which we do have the boost for. We shouldn't have mistakes. We're going to line up Sebastian Vettel as well. Everything looking good here, and we're out on track, so maybe we're just going to push into the pits with Vettel and see if we can get a jump on some of these other cars that pitted. If we can get out any higher than 5th place, it would be an absolute bonus here, because I'm guessing is Ricciardo staying about the same as Gasly. He is, so we're going to get Gasly pushing as well, just to make sure that he stays far enough ahead of Sebastian Vettel so we don't have any sort of issues with this double stack that we're going for through the pits. So Gasly is into the pits. Nice and quick, 1.8 seconds. Nice and quick for Sebastian Vettel as well. And we've jumped Leclerc in the pits. Ferrari's slow with their pit stop. Ricciardo does go through, and we get out of the pits into 3rd place here. Absolutely brilliant through the pits there. We do have some room still to push here. So Gasly is currently 1st. He's away from Daniel Ricciardo now. And this is looking mightily impressive for Pierre Gasly. It could be his first win here for us in the Audi. Pierre Gasly absolutely flying this race, but Daniel Ricciardo, you say that, and then Daniel Ricciardo, so it's the quickest lap of the race, although he was on that super soft a lap earlier than we were, so maybe we'll try. We'll go for it. We'll go for it. Although we're slower over the first sector, we're going to improve in the second. Can we go quicker than Daniel Ricciardo on that lap? And Vettel is now overheated. He's got a nice gap though, so we can try to cool him down. And Pierre Gasly goes ahead and takes that fastest lap straight away from Daniel Ricciardo, and we've got a lot of fuel recovery to do now from pushing into this position. We should just be able to keep it in medium. We will recover by about lap, we'll take about 11 laps to do that, by about lap 23. So yep, we're just going to run nice and cool here now. We'll maybe switch back up to medium, or should we just let ourselves just drop as much as we can and then push once we know the rain's going to start? Obviously, is Russell getting any closer? 2.3. We're holding that gap even. Schwartzman under investigation. Has he just hit someone, or has he run a corner? We do not know, but we're holding that gap, although we say that and then they start to come back at us. But anyway, we'll just go into medium now. Gasly does have a 3-second lead over Daniel Ricciardo. There's about 2 seconds back from Vettel to that's George Russell behind. So what we need to do, should we just, don't want to go too early on these tyres that they start to fade away before we have to get to that next pair of intermediates, because we do need to get to when the rain starts, but we do want to close up to Daniel Ricciardo if we can. 5 seconds might be a stretch, but we know we can be a lot quicker than that Renault. Obviously we don't have the fuel to quite do that at the moment. 14 laps remaining. This rain is coming in about 5 laps. Gaining half a second. See how much quicker we are this lap than the last one. We're gaining on Daniel Ricciardo here, so we should be able to get him before the end of the race. We don't really need to risk this super soft just yet, as we are 9 tenths quicker than that Renault. Ricciardo's just gone through so much of that tyre. That's possibly why he's trying to cool down. I mean, we've just done a better job. We've got a lot of tyre wear left at the moment as well. So should we try catching before the rain? The rain is coming. So here we go. We're going to try chase down Daniel Ricciardo here. I mean, this car is just so quick at the moment. And immediately we're overheated, which is the problem that Ricciardo's possibly had in getting to this point where that super soft is just totally almost done for here. And we're closing in now. At 2.5 seconds is the gap now. Now we're going to set, well, Vettel's going to set his personal best lap of the race. Gasly is now overheated, just running in neutral mode. He's overheated, but Vettel sets the fastest sector in the second sector there. Could he be on for the fastest lap here? Now Vettel comes across a 1:33.5, goes quicker than Pierre Gasly did. Ricciardo is dropping back. We're now about a second behind. This rain is going to start, so whether this happens or not, we're going to jump him in the pits anyway. I feel we've got a better pit crew than Renault, or at least I think we have. How quick were we on the first pit stop? I mean, look how quick we are, especially with Vettel, 1.67, although Renault are really quick as well. Renault have a really quick pit crew as well, so we do need to make this pass on track, it looks like. Unless there's some sort of mistake that goes on, or they stay out too long, or goes too early for a pit stop. No, Ricciardo's had to peel in. He's gone through that tyre before the rain has started totally here. So, I mean, we can just cool off now with Vettel. That is absolutely perfect for us. And the rain is just starting. It looks like, did I see a flash of rain then? No, I didn't. The rain hasn't even started yet. So, Ricciardo is on this into Tsunoda so far back after his pole position. But Ricciardo, ooh, we've had a crash. That's Robert Schwartzman. No safety car though, but Ricciardo is losing time here. Renault once again can't stretch out, push too much. I don't think it's down to Ricciardo they're pushing. We've got rain, we're not quite on the crossover point yet. So we might as well stay out on this super, at least for another lap. Hopefully we don't crash doing this strategy. We've got most cars into the pits. It is going to be onto a pair of Inters to finish the race. And we'll line up Vettel as well. So Vettel will be into the pits, and we don't have long to go here, and it looks like Gasly has this win secured. We've got tyres overheating pretty rapidly. As soon as you push these tyres at any great length, these Inters aren't picking up any time, so it did work out going that extra lap longer. We do have fresher tyres. We've got a car coming through. That is Daniel Ricciardo. That is still pretty close though, but we do get out in front of him, and he definitely flies in the back of Sebastian Vettel. A little bit dangerous coming out of the pits, but we can push on this tyre just like he was, and Ricciardo is now cooling off. This rain is pretty heavy. I mean, the wets would work in the middle of this rain session, but only for a lap, so there's no point thinking about another pit stop. We can just push all out here, especially with Vettel. We don't need to risk anything with Gasly though, so we might as well just have him recover. We don't even need to do that, do we? Because we've recovered the fuel here. About lap, it will be on lap 23 that we recover. I was estimating lap 24, but we're just getting away from Daniel Ricciardo now as well. And we're away from Danny Rick, so this looks like another 1-2 here for us. So we'll just leave everyone going as they are. We'll just cool down these tyres a little bit more rapidly than they are doing at the moment. It is going to allow Ricciardo to catch up, but we're out of the red zone now, so we can go back into neutral with Vettel, and we can switch back into neutral with Pierre Gasly, and that will be the race. Daniel Ricciardo is third. It looks like Ricciardo is going to at least get on the podium, so he didn't actually lose that much time coming into the pits when just before the rain started. It might have actually worked out for him a little bit. He was losing time. He somehow managed to keep it, but anyway, Russell has got into fourth place. We've got the two Ferraris up there in the points. Williams, Latifi, still doing really good here. Latifi is on for a 6th place finish. Can that Ferrari catch him? Tsunoda's got back up there as well. At least he's going to pick up points. Then we've got Verstappen, Schumacher in the Alfa Romeo as well, all the way from 24th on the grid. That is an amazing race for Schumacher if he can stay in the points here. But anyway, we're just going to speed through to the end of the race now. We've got nothing to fight for really, other than making sure that Daniel Ricciardo does stay behind us, which means we can go high mode and just keep that gap going. And it looks like Ricciardo is now cooling down as well, so we're going to pull that gap out even further, and we're going to have one of our biggest wins of the season, because I don't know what the biggest gap is we've had to a car that isn't ours. We might have a look after this race to what it could be. Let's see how much of a gap we can pull out if we go full. Obviously, this is risking it, although there's only a lap to go, isn't there? Although no, Gasly does finish. That is an excellent win for him. Vettel is second, 8.5 seconds behind, and it's 13.5 seconds back from Gasly to Ricciardo. But Tsunoda does hang on. Hamilton didn't manage to get past Latifi. Verstappen is up there in the points as well for Mercedes. Russell's up there. Schumacher in the Alfa Romeo does hang on for that top 10 finish, and both Red Bulls are out of the points. So this is another massive race for us, and one step closer to that Constructors' title. A Constructors' title that didn't look possible at the start of the season. We had a really good start to the season, and I thought the other cars were then going to start out developing us, but we've just had some massive gains to the parts over this season. A lot of it to do with our improvability score. Maybe I might not try and go as high with it for next season, or maybe rebalance the teams so they're a little bit closer to us. Or I don't really want to drop us down the order, because maybe a third season where we're really strong would work out. But you never know. The other cars might develop something in this last part of this season. But as it is, Vettel now has a 19-point lead over his championship rivals. We could be on for the double here. We now have a 76-point gap. That is almost a 2-race comfort zone. With 4 races left. I mean, that is amazing. We could be on. We could be on for the Constructors in our second season here. I didn't think we'd get to this point quite so quickly, but we've absolutely crushed it this season. Especially over these last 3 races. That is the point where we've crushed it. I mean, because there was a few races like when Gasly was on his cool streak here, but he's just gone second, first. Vettel pulled it out of the bag as well. I mean, if Gasly didn't have this spell here, I mean, if he'd have just got 1 podium here, he'd be a lot closer. But 2 podiums in here, or more points across all of these races, he'd be right up there with Sebastian Vettel fighting for the title. Gasly has just done amazing this season. And we'll just take this interview before we finish here. Pierre Gasly had to apologise because he sprayed champagne. We'll just say that one. It's going to upset the chairman a little bit. We're doing good enough that we don't have to worry about that. We do have the front wing build finished. So we'll just have a look. We don't actually usually go into this part, but I think we're just going to have to see what takes the shortest amount of time. Brakes is 14 days, although there's a few bits to put onto that. The gearbox is quite long. We've got 3 weeks, 21 days, so we want to make sure we can get that done before the end of the season. So it's going to have to be the brakes, and then we're going to have to sit and wait out for until the point we can build a new engine. And the brakes is what we need to do most. We've got risky parts, so we can go for these 2 to improve. So we are going to improve on our previous part. It won't get up to a 1084. That's going to be 3 days after the next race in 21 days. So yeah, that's going to take us perfectly through to the point where we do the engine. And yeah, so that is going to be the next part build that we do. It's not going to be ready. It's not going to be ready for the next race, is it? It's not going to be ready for Rio de Janeiro, but we do have the front wing that we're going to fully get done, and then we can get into Phoenix, and hopefully, I mean, we do finish with our home race this year because of the way we had to work it. I didn't Munich back in because it was removed last year, which did put it at the end of the calendar. So we might have even won the title by that point, but you never know. We might have to go down to the last race of the season. Germany, Ferrari. Red Bull need to improve quite a bit as well, don't they? Who were Red Bull? I mean, Mercedes have improved, but they're over 100 points behind. It is pretty much between us and Ferrari, but Ferrari only have 1 win this season. Charles Leclerc, all the way back. When did he actually win? Cape Town, South Africa. It's 6 races ago since Ferrari have been performing. They have come back stronger as of late. Their car is currently 3rd best overall. Hopefully they're going to have some new updates as well to challenge our new front wing. But anyway, that is it for this episode. We've got the Brazil Grand Prix coming up next time. But until that point, I'll see you down the road. Until then, goodbye.